Hi all, Kitamari here. So we're playing Genso Manège. This is an Otome game. This is a kind of romance visual novel type of game. And I'll have a link in the description. Definitely check it out if you're interested. I haven't played a game like this in quite a while. Not since, I think it was Celestia. So we're going to jump in. We already checked out config. We're going to go right into a new game. So check her out. Oh my gosh, doesn't she look Kita-esque? Emma. I usually like to choose the default name or even hunt down the default name if I don't know what the default name is. Emma is a very charming name. We're gonna go ahead. Finish. Is this the name you'd like to use? Yes, it is. The prologue. I really like the character designs in this one. I'm looking forward to it. The sky was gray. Snow fell from the clouds like porcelain crystals from a dull curtain. Frost covered the park, coating its already still attractions in frozen silvery sheets. Where there was once smiles and cheer, silence now reigned. Save for a few souls, that is. Why are you doing this? Maybe I don't know. There's full voice acting for the guys, I think. But I'll just narrate it still. This is robbery. You have no right. I think you'll find that we do. Ignore them. Proceed. Who is this? Yes, sir. Stop. Stop it. This is all we have. He is the most intimidating figure of the carnival. You'll find no sympathy from me, son. What is happening? The man drew a gun. Enough of this. He pulled the trigger. There was a flash, then smoke coiled out from a barrel. A bullet sped toward the fallen young man, only to collide with something else entirely. That something let out a shrill whine as the bullet bore into it. There was another, brighter flash of light, one of blinding intensity. For a split second, everything was white. And then darkness. Someone was shouting. Please, just say something. I can't lose you too. You have to open your eyes. Emma was shot at night at the carnival by a mysterious figure. I jolted awake. I found myself in my room, rays of the morning sun poking through the curtains. The aroma of freshly bloomed violets drifted through the slightly ajar window. Am I? Something ran down my cheek. I reached up to touch it and felt something wet. Tears. I'm crying? But why? That dull winter sky flashed across my mind. The image was faint, close to vanishing like smoke in the wind. Still, I knew it was the place I'd dreamed of. I can't remember much, but it couldn't have been a very good dream. Why else would I be crying? Emma, you up? A knock came at my door, pulling me out of my trance. I glanced at the clock on my bedside table. It was well past time to get out of bed. Yes, sorry, Arnaud. Arnaud. I'll get changed and have breakfast ready soon. Relax, it's already done. Take your time. Oh. Whatever I might have said, embarrassment stole the words from my mouth. I can't believe I slept through one of my only jobs. I'm really, really sorry. Finally managing to squeeze out an apology, I hurriedly dressed myself. Once I came downstairs, I found food for 3 waiting at the table. The comforting scene of freshly baked baguettes enticed a growl from my stomach.
Ohayo, Emma.
Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Madam Alice. I'm sorry I slept in so late this morning. Do I have you to thank for breakfast? Don't be ridiculous. Arnaud put his put down his food, stood up, and pulled out my chair for me. Thank you.
いや、先に食べてて悪いな。
Don't mention it. I should have waited for you. Oh, that's okay. I took a seat. Along with the baguettes, several colorful fruits adorned the table.
朝食は私が用意すると言ったのだけれど、アルノがダ
I
メだ
told
と
him
言っ
I'd
て
prepare
聞いてくれなくて
breakfast, but the boy just wouldn't budge.
バゲットを温
I'm
める
hardly
くらい
clumsy enough to
誰
burn
に
a
でも
simple
できるのに。
baguette.
料理の常識を
And yet you
覆
always
してい
manage
く
to
のが母
surprise
さん
me.
の。
そんなこ
Now
とない
that's just
の
not true, isn't it,
ね
Emma?
エマ
I glanced around the room as if searching for an answer. I'd seen Madame Alice's attempts at cooking before. Well, calling it cooking would have been generous. I can't exactly blame Arnaud for stopping her, but at least she's trying.
母さん、エマを困らせ
You're
る
putting Emma on the spot, Mom.
困らせてい
I
ないわ
am
よ。
not.
もう
You make me sound like
人
such a
聞きの悪い
villain.
ことばかり言って。
This was very much a common spectacle with these two. The Vincents and their little antics were a part of everyday life for me. It's been 7 whole years since I moved in with them. Until I was 10, I'd lived in Paris with my family, but after nearly drowning in the Seine River, I lost most of my memories. My father lost his life during the incident. Since my mother had already passed due to illness, I became an orphan. That was when the Vincents took me in. We, including Arnaud's father, Daniel, had stayed in Paris for some time. 6 years ago, though, Arnaud, his mother, and I moved here to Blankburg. The shock had put me in a precarious mental state, so the change to a smaller, quieter town was likely for my sake. They'd never said as much, but I knew. Monsieur Daniel stayed behind on account of his work. I hope he's well. I haven't seen him in a long time.
エマ、このジャム使ってみろ。
Try this jam.
会社の人にも
A coworker gave it to me,
もう絶
and it's some
品なん
great
だ。
stuff. Oh, okay. I'll try some on my baguette. I spread the strawberry jam on the bread and took a bite. A perfect balance of sweet and sour filled my mouth. You're right, this is delicious. Arnaud gave me a wide smile.
食後のコーヒー、用意しとくか？
Want to wash it down with some coffee? Allow me.
いいよ。
I'll get it.
俺はもう食べ終わ
You
った
keep eating. He stood up and walked over to the kitchen. 7 whole years, and Arnaud's still as kind as ever. Ever since I'd lost my family, he'd been a constant in my life, a friend, and a pillar of support. After cleaning up breakfast, I followed Arnaud out to see him off to work. It was a beautiful day with clear skies and just the right amount of sun. Vibrant flowers that decorated the roads swayed in the breeze.
今朝は何かあったのか？
Something happened this morning? What? Why do you ask?
ほら、
You never
お
sleep
前
in.
が寝坊する
Thought you might be sick or something. Arnaud suddenly stopped and peered at me. No, it's not that. I just had a strange dream is all. I don't remember much, but I know it was sad.
夢を見たってことは
Restless night
眠
then,
りが
huh?
浅かったのかもな。
You read a scary story before
さ
bed?
ては、寝る前に怖い本でも読んだんだろう。
It was about a witch, and it wasn't scary. The witch saved a girl from being bullied and turned her into a princess.
あのな、
You
魔女が
realize you're in
出
the
てくる本
minority
は
thinking
相
witches
手が
aren't
怖い
scary,
もの
right?
それが
Well, this one wasn't, and I'm not either.
こら、
Okay, okay. He prodded my head with his finger.
人は自分と違うものを怖がる生き物なんだ。
People fear things they don't
お前
understand.
がいい魔女だったとしても
Whether you're a nice witch or a scary one, you can't let others know. I know. Not like anyone would believe me. How would I convince them? Cast a spell? It wasn't just my memories I'd lost 7 years ago. I'd lost my magic, too. All that practice I'd done with my mother as a child gone to waste. I wonder where that star necklace went. My mother and I had matching necklaces. Not only had it helped to control and regulate my magic, but it also reminded me who I was, where I came from. But it vanished during the accident 7 years ago. Witches were all but extinct thanks to cultural persecution and hunts 4 centuries ago. My mother was the only one I knew other than myself. Despite that, our dark history still lingered. Most people weren't fond of beings like me. My parents had made sure to impress something upon me, though. Magic was a force for good. My mother, at least, had been a kind and caring witch, so I chose to believe in her. I believed in him as well. Who was that boy, anyway? Can hardly remember. All I could recall was that he'd been very important to me, although I wasn't even sure of that either. Anyway, I should get going. I'll be back a bit late today. Investigating somewhere far off again? Arnaud was a reporter for a local newspaper. He had to travel often for work. Far enough that I'll need a bike at least. Or need to bike at least. Oh, nearly forgot. He produced a flyer from his pocket. You hear about this? A traveling amusement park's in town. You like this kind of thing, don't you? An amusement park? In Blankburg. I practically leaped for the flyer and read its contents. La foi de rêve. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. I'm butchering everything. It's gonna happen. Children and adults alike are invited to come have the time of their dreams. Visit us from April 1st to June 30th. Map marked their location. They were in a forest near the outskirts of town. I don't know. I do like amusement parks, but I'll sit this one out. I don't earn my keep like you do. No, please. How many women do you know who have jobs? Housework counts as earning your keep just fine. I won't force you or anything, but really, you should go if you want to. He ruffled my hair. Oh, he treats her like a little sister. Hey! Let me know how it is if you check it out. Could make for a good article. Anyway, I'm off. Stay safe. Arnaud hopped on his bike and sped off to the office. Arnaud? An amusement park here, of all places. I placed the flyer on my desk and picked up my music box. After I'd wound up the key, I replaced it on the dresser and watched the horses spin as music began to play. The pastel top turned, glass gems twinkling in the sunlight, a kaleidoscope of colors reflecting off of them, whisking me away into a world of fantasy. This little merry-go-round, this menage, was all I had left of my father. I was rather fond of it. It reminded me of the menage in my favorite picture book, Rêve d'un menage. My father had been an engineer for amusement parks, so we'd often visited them to admire his work. My fascination had begun there. Unfortunately, I was told I'd received this particular trinket 7 years ago. I had no memory of it personally. Still, memory or not, I'd always treasured it, and I always would. Maybe I will visit that amusement park. Arnaud had offered, after all, and I genuinely wanted to go. All right, chores first. With a renewed sense of motivation, I set about my daily tasks. This is so pretty. I honestly, I wish that a lot of Otome games were ported to Steam. That's just an aside. Simply because playing them on the larger screen is nice. I mean, actually you could still do that with Switch, play them on PC, but something different about a monitor sometimes. I finished my work around midday when the sun was high and left home. Following the map marked on the flyer, I sauntered through town. When are we going to the amusement park? I want to go too. I couldn't help but grin at the rowdy children. It wasn't every day such events occurred around here, so I empathized with their excitement. Absolutely not. They say those people have something to do with the Hamelin phenomenon. The Hamelin? The what? What's Hamelin? Hamelin. She's just making it up because she doesn't want to spend money. What? Why? The family turned the corner and promptly left earshot. What's the Hamelin phenomenon? Was she really making that up? The question hung in my mind, but I continued on my way to the forest. As the buildings and bustle faded, the trees grew thicker. Birds chirped atop their branches and squirrels scurried from limb to limb. The tranquility was contagious. What sort of amusement park is it, I wonder? My heart pounded in anticipation. I took a moment to breathe and calm my nerves before continuing. Wow! There it proudly stood, right at the mouth of the forest. A pastel gate gave way to a large fountain, around which numerous lovely attractions were centered. Even from afar, their craftsmanship was something to behold. I couldn't take my eyes away. The entire affair looked like something straight out of a toy box. I could have sworn I just walked into a picture book. It's all so charming. I've never seen a park like this. It looks even better up close, you know. I turned to the voice. A girl stood there. Her star-dappled uniform seemed plucked from the same whimsical storyline as the park itself. A world of dreams is only a ticket away. One adult, I assume? Yes, please. I timidly paid the woman for my ticket. This is such a cute ticket, too. That's something that you add to your junk journal. It's a cute ticket. Even the tearaways part, it's a little star. That's so cute. I found another smile sneaking onto my face. The staff lady smiled back, tearing off the stub and handing me the rest. She punctuated the transaction with a wink. Welcome to the Rev, the traveling amusement park. We hope you have the time of your dreams. The girl gestured for me to enter. I passed through the gate with bated breath. My eyes were drawn at once to the fountain, thoughts buzzing as to how they traveled with such a thing. Elephants which blew bubbles and sprayed water adorned the circumference. Children frolicked about, reaching out for the bubbles. Something smells good. The scent caused me to turn my gaze toward the many stalls set up on the right. Upon closer inspection, they were selling all manner of deviously tempting sweets, from gaufres and pretzels to sugared fruits and cookies. Warm sandwiches, snacks, ball games, and other diversions also lined the counters. Something about these stalls feels off, though. I approached them to investigate. Oh, to my surprise, the booths were being manned by puppets. Perhaps that wasn't the right word. They were automated puppets, machines known as automatons. Welcome. Your order, please. One gofuru. Without knowing the word, truly, I guess a gofuru is fine. Coming right up. The automatons addressed and attended to the customers with pre-recorded phrases. Incredible. Machines with jobs? Oh, here's the tsundere. It takes me 0.00001 seconds to spot one. Is there a problem with the automatons? A tall man in uniform suddenly approached me. I knew at once he must have been with the park. He blinks a lot. This knowledge didn't make his gaze feel any less intimidating, though, or me any less like a frog in the sights of a hungry snake. Oh, no, I've just never seen one before. I see. Vast as the world may be, we are the only park to include automatons among our workforce. Your surprise is warranted. Rest assured, however, they are functioning as specified. Himuro? Himuro? That's Tokimeki Memorial Girls side reference. He's one of my favorites, Himuro. Kind of looks like him a little bit. The man said nothing more. He simply turned on his heels and left. He didn't seem very amused for an amusement park employee. I shook off the awkwardness and returned to browsing the stalls. Cheers suddenly erupted from the fountain. Maybe there's a show going on. I should go look. I headed toward the hubbub, only to find a young man putting on a performance.
Merci!
You're too kind. But the show's just getting started. You folks ready for some real juggling? He's so energetic. Can already tell. You, there in the front. What's your favorite fruit? I like apples. Apples, eh? Like this one here? The boy produced an apple in his hand, seemingly out of thin air. Whoa! Now you in the back. What's your least favorite vegetable? He proceeded to materialize an apple, a radish, a mushroom, and a strawberry, which he then began to juggle. Gosh, that's a lot to juggle. The colorfully mismatched ensemble flew through the air and back into his hands with ease. He improvised all of that? The crowd only continued to grow. I can't see. I should probably move. There's plenty more to explore. I offered my spot to the boy behind me and weaved my way back out of the crowd. Thanks, lady. Quietly wishing the child a good show, I soon escaped the fountain area. Next on my list was the area to the left with the teacups. What is that? A costumed mascot of sorts strolled by the line of guests waiting for the ride. The lemon-colored, droopy-eared rabbit wore the same uniform as the others and carried a flag with the park's insignia. Oh, so cute. On my beat, everyone. The rabbit began clapping, and soon the guests followed suit. On rhythm, he started to move, jump, and spin around the line of people. I could just barely make out a star pattern on the suit beneath his uniform. So cute. Thanks, everyone. The line should get moving soon, so make sure to watch the person in front of you. With a wave of his flag, the rabbit left the guests. He looked this way and that. Eventually, our gazes met. The glittering, peridot-colored eyes fixed on mine. Hey there. Have you been to the Manège? You have a Manège? Uh-huh. It's the Rev's most famous attraction. It's just back there, so go take a look. Thank you, I will. The rabbit bowed, moving his little hand, then sauntered over to more guests. I wonder what it's like. Merry-go-rounds, that is. Manèges varied a lot from park to park. I was curious to see this one and how it compared to my father's music box. If it's as popular as Rabbit says, I've got to see it. I set out on the path he directed me toward. I should finish reading before... Oh, look at that beautiful sky. Finish reading before... before voicing. The sun was beginning to set, dyeing the scenery in a golden tint. A pastel top and an array of colorful horses spun before me. Decorative glass gems twinkled in the sunlight. It can't be. I was awestruck. This Manège was the spitting image of the one my father had made. Is this what he modeled the music box after? I never knew it was based on something. The Manège came to a stop, and the riders alighted. My feet carried me forward, all on their own. Every detail is spot on. It's my music box. It's like I'm seeing double. I reached my hand out to touch it. The cold metal chilled my fingers. Wait, why is it getting warmer? It happened before I could react. A blinding light flashed from the Manège. What? Before I knew it, everything went white. The light had swallowed everything. I couldn't keep my eyes open. My heart pounded in my ears. Heat seethed inside me. What's happening? And then the heat vanished. Carefully, slowly, I opened my eyes. The light was gone too. I scanned the area out of pure confusion, but answers eluded me. Did I imagine all that? Other guests exchanged looks and tilted their heads. What just happened? Part of some performance, maybe? Evidently, I hadn't. The guests stared at the Manège for a while before they lost interest and left. I should back away before it starts moving again. I managed to pry myself away from the ride and put some distance between us. That's when I heard the footsteps.
Emma?
Emma? My heart nearly leaped out of my chest. Oh my gosh, it's the main character guy, I think. That's what I call the main character guy. In Thai, it would be Pratik, I think. I think it's Pratik. Anyway. I slowly turned around. There was a man in a pale, purple-hued suit and shoulder piece.
まさか、また君に会えるなんて。
I thought I'd never see you again. Behind his stark white hair, he wore a complicated expression. He thought he'd never see me again? I've never met this man in my life. And you are?
Hugo だよ。
It's me,
覚えてい
Hugo.
ないかい？
Don't you remember?
君に会うのは何年ぶりだ
I
から
suppose it's been 7
無
long
理もないの
years.
かな。
Oh, my chest tightened. I'm sorry, but I don't remember much from back then. I explained the incident in the river and about my amnesia. I'm sorry. He frowned for a moment, but it was soon replaced with a kind smile.
いや、謝る必要はないよ、マドモアゼル。
You've nothing to be sorry for,
改めて
mademoiselle.
自己紹介させ
Would
て
you
もら
allow
え
me
るか
to
な。
redo my introduction? Gosh, he switches gears quickly. Please.
俺の名前はヒューゴ。
My name is
こ
Hugo.
のレイブ移動
I'm the
遊園地
director
の園
here
長。
at La Foi de Rêve. La Fraue Sorry. So you run things here.
7年前は
I've certainly worked my way up
スタッフの一人だったんだ。
since my days as a grunt 7 years
おか
ago.
げさまで出世してね。
He winked playfully. Did you know my father by any chance? Florent was his name. He was an engineer.
残念ながら
I'm sorry to say I never had the pleasure. I was only ever acquainted with you,
俺が
Emma.
知っているのは君だけだ。
How much is he hiding behind this pleasantry? I see. Considering the uncanny similarities between this Manège and my music box, my hopes had been somewhat high.
ところで
Say,
今しがたマネー
that
ジ
little
の
display with the Manège,
あの
it was
光
you
は
who created
君が
that
起こ
light,
したものだよ
yes?
ね。
Well, I didn't have the first clue. To claim responsibility for it felt inaccurate, to say the least. I apologize for touching the machinery, but I'm not sure what happened exactly. He offered a gentle smile.
安心して。
This isn't an
責めているわけじゃ
interrogation,
ない。
I assure you. I simply had a favor to ask.
君の力を貸してほしいと思って。
What do you mean? After glancing side to side, he leaned in and brought his voice down to a whisper.
君は魔女だろ？
You are a witch, are you not? I quickly drew back.
人は自分と違うものを
People
怖
fear
がる
things they don't understand. Whether you're a nice witch or a scary one,
誰にも言うなよ
you can't let others know. Arnaud's words from earlier echoed in my head. No one can know. No one can find out. If this is an accusation, then you're sorely mistaken. I refuted him as firmly as I could. Monsieur Hugo appeared dejected. That's not the reaction I expected.
否定したい気持ちはわかるよ。
I understand your wariness.
頼れる相
But
手は君
You're
し
the
かいない
only
んだ。
hope we have left.
俺たちは
You see,
ここで働く人
everyone
間
who
は
works here is trapped,
魔法でこの遊園
bound
地
to the
に
park
囚われ
by magic.
それは
It's powerful
とても
magic
強力な
that
魔
we
法
have
で
no means of resisting.
俺たちにはどうすることもできない。だから
You can save us.
助けてほしいんだ。
You have that power.
君の魔法で。
I don't know what to say.
分かっているよ。
Right. I
信じら
realize I
れ
must
ない
sound
んだ
like a madman right now. He grinned, although only barely this time. He seemed earnest to me, so I didn't think he was playing some sort of trick. But trapped in an amusement park? He can't possibly think I can just believe that. He can't know what I am. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. A bell chimed, sounding the closing of the park and drowning out my words. People began funneling towards the entrance. I should be going.
待って。
Wait, there's
君
something
に
you
見
should
せたい
see.
ものがあるんだ。
Huh? He grabbed my hand before allowing me to answer. He didn't pull, though. He simply guided me as a gentleman would. We left the Manège and passed by a number of attractions. Before long, we'd arrived back at the fountain. It seemed that what he wanted to show me wasn't inside the park itself. Once he'd made certain that all the guests had left, Monsieur Hugo passed through the gate. We were alone. Everyone had surely gone home by now. It was quiet, not even birds filled the silence. He continued on the road, back to town, never letting go of my hand. Excuse me, where are we going? Nowhere. Not me, anyway. He stopped. Monsieur? Oh my gosh. I looked up at him as he unbuttoned his collar. A pale white circle glowed on his neck. Is that a chain? The light took the form of a collar. Attached to it was an ephemeral chain leading back into the park. This is the magic binding us here, to this very amusement park. I don't believe it. Magically trapped within an amusement park? It shouldn't have been possible, but here I was faced with reality. I couldn't deny what lay before my eyes. How did this happen? A witch cast this spell. I'm very fond of amusement parks, so I do quite enjoy my life here. However, years upon years of bondage do begin to wear on one. Everyone's trapped like this? Not just you? That's correct. He nodded. But magic is a force for good. I thought there were no bad witches. I find it hard to believe a witch would do this. Witches aren't supposed to be evil. Indeed, they aren't. What happened here was an accident of sorts. An accident. I was reminded once again of the Seine River. I'd lost a lot that day, even if I didn't remember what exactly they'd been. In addition to my father and the power I'd nurtured with my mother, I'd also lost an entire year's worth of memories. The people of the Rev had surely lost things themselves. They would continue to lose things, so long as they remained captives. Are you okay, Emma? I hope I haven't frightened you. No, I'm okay. Thank goodness. I've said what I needed to say. This was all I wanted you to see. He stepped back and the collar and chain vanished in an instant. After a short breath, the director faced me once again. Allow me to repeat my previous question. You are a witch, Emma, are you not? Uh-oh. People fear things they don't understand. Whether you're a nice witch or a scary one, you can't let others know. Arnaud's words came back to me again. Monsieur Hugo said witches aren't evil. If he believes that, then maybe... I took a deep breath, fingers trembling. I am a witch. A sigh of relief left his lips. That took courage. Thank you. This means a lot to me. But I haven't been able to use magic for 7 years now. Not much of anything without that. He remained unfazed. That's perfectly fine. It slumbers within you. We wouldn't have seen that light if it wasn't there. That was magic? Most likely. I wager your own power reacted to the magic within the park. Now, the favor I would ask of you. He clapped his hands together. Emma, would you join our staff? I want to use this opportunity to awaken your magic. Me? Work at the Rev? With compensation, of course. I was speechless. I do love amusement parks. They remind me of Dad. It's not that I'm opposed exactly, I just... Need time to think, I take it? The pressure was at once alleviated. Yes, I would need to speak with people back home before making a decision. I couldn't go agreeing to such arrangements without at least consulting with the Vincents first.
わかった。
I understand.
答
I
え
will
が出
wait
る
for
まで
your
待つ。
answer. When you have it,
心が決まっ
find
た
me
ら
here.
ここへ来てほしい。君のために
I'll
門
leave the
は
gate
開けて
open
おく
for
から
you. Thank you.
オーボワールマドモアゼル。
Monsieur Hugo waved me goodbye as I left. Bidding farewell, I started on my way home. The park soon vanished behind a veil of trees. Yet I remained in high spirits, like I was still there somehow in that world of dreams. What a day it's been. I just told the first person outside the Vincent family about who I was. For the first time, someone had come to me for help. They needed my magic. If my magic really is just asleep, I have to wake it up. There are people I could be helping. I want to be a kind witch, just like Mom was. All right. Ah. Oh, gosh. It's been a long time since I did kind of narration type stuff. That was fun. I really love the art style of this. The storyline seems interesting so far. I'm curious to find out more about the amusement park and more about the characters and the heroine. She's pretty likable. I feel like this is just an inkling of the story. I'm sure that there is more to find out about and more to see, as well as getting to know the characters. We don't even truly know all the characters yet. I'm sure that there are plenty more to be introduced, but I will have a link in the description. Really nice always to see more games of this genre localized and released on Steam. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for everything. I'll see you later. Bye.